Welcome back to Valuable Coins, your trusted source for deep dives into America's most treasured and valuable coins. Today, we are focusing on these fascinating pieces of American coinage that have captured the attention of collectors and investors. Let's begin our journey with the first coin, the most valuable United States Monticello 5 cents Jefferson nickel, dated 1964, featuring the large date, a damaged D mint mark, and a captivating black color that collectors find both unique and challenging. The Monticello nickel, named after Thomas Jefferson's Virginia home, has long been an iconic coin in the United States. Jefferson's profile, designed by Felix Schlag, first appeared on the nickel in 1938 and has seen a few changes over the decades. The 1960 for Monticello nickel is especially significant, marking the last year before the 1965 composition change when nickel coins ceased to contain silver due to rising metal costs. Although 1960 for nickels are primarily known for their copper-nickel composition, the collector market has identified certain rare varieties and errors within this year that have fueled a renewed interest. The 1960 for Monticello nickel with the large date variation is a particularly prized example. This coin features a noticeably larger date font on the obverse side, which makes it stand out among its peers. It's not a widely recognized mint error, but rather a subtle variation caused during the die creation process. Collectors have sought out this large date version because it represents an unusual production nuance that not only adds to the coin's story, but also its rarity. To add to the intrigue, the coin we're discussing today has a damaged D mint mark. This is no ordinary D. The damage affects the shape and clarity of the mint mark, making it a sought-after anomaly for error collectors. Mint marks on coins indicate where they were produced. The D mint mark signifies the Denver Mint, which has a reputation for producing some of the most collectible coin errors in U.S. history. A damaged mint mark occurs when the minting die or coin surface suffers damage during production, creating a flawed impression. Collectors prize such errors because they are one of a kind and cannot be reproduced. A damaged D on a 1960 for nickel, especially coupled with the large date variation, creates a perfect storm of rarity and desirability. Now, this coin is not in pristine condition. It features a distinctive black color, which has developed over time due to oxidation and exposure to various elements, and it is in a dirty, badly circulated state. While many collectors prize coins with flawless surfaces, there is a distinct segment of enthusiasts who value coins that show natural aging and patina, believing these factors add character and authenticity. The black coloration on this nickel is particularly notable because it's not a simple darkening. It hints at a unique chemical reaction on the coin's surface that could be attributed to storage conditions or environmental factors over decades. Circulated coins with such pronounced discoloration are often overlooked by casual collectors, but in reality, the combination of the large date, damaged mint mark, and unusual surface coloration makes this coin an extraordinary find. It appeals to collectors who appreciate the full story of a coin's life, the minting, the handling, the aging process, and see these imperfections as part of the coin's rich history. From a mintage perspective, the 1960 for Denver Mint produced roughly 661 million Jefferson nickels, making the base coin quite common. However, the subset with the large date and damaged D mint mark is incredibly limited, likely numbering only in the low thousands or fewer, especially in any condition. When you combine that rarity with collector demand, the coin's market value begins to soar. In today's auction market, well-known examples of the 1960 for large date D mint mark nickels, even in circulated condition, have fetched between $20,000 to $40,000. However, the black coloration and unique damage on the mint mark elevate this specimen far beyond those numbers. Serious collectors and error enthusiasts have bid aggressively for such rarities, pushing prices over $200,000. In prestigious auction houses, This staggering value reflects the coin's unique place in numismatic history and its desirability among a niche but passionate collector base. Why do collectors pay such premium prices? Beyond the inherent rarity, the story embedded in this coin, from the die era to its striking black surface and damaged mint mark, makes it a narrative coin. Collectors treasure coins that tell a story, and this Monteello nickel has a rich one. Its imperfections are its personality, and its imperfections make it invaluable to those who understand the history behind the coins. Now, let's move on to our second coin, which is equally captivating and valuable, the most valuable United States 5-cent Jefferson Buffalo nickel from 2005, featuring a large P mint mark in circulated, rusty, and dirty condition. The Jefferson Buffalo nickel series, though most famously minted between 1913 and 1938, saw a revival in modern times with special edition releases. The 2005 Buffalo nickel is a modern commemorative that honors the rich legacy of the classic Buffalo nickel design originally created by sculptor James Earl Fraser. This modern release was minted with the intention of reconnecting coin collectors and the public with one of America's most beloved coin designs. The Buffalo nickel is iconic, symbolizing the American West and Native American heritage, with its distinctive profile of a Native American on the obverse and an American bison on the reverse. The 2005 Jefferson Buffalo nickel you see here is not a typical commemorative. What makes it stand out is the large P mint mark variation found on some coins minted at the Philadelphia Mint. The P mint mark traditionally appears quite small and subtle on Jefferson nickels, but some 2005 issues exhibit a larger than usual P due to a die variation. These large mint marks are of great interest to collectors because they are not officially listed errors, but rather unintentional variations caused by tooling changes or die polishing irregularities. Their limited appearance and distinctiveness quickly caught the eyes of the numismatic community. This coin is also circulated and shows heavy signs of wear, with rusty spots and a dirty surface. Many might dismiss such a coin as being in poor condition, but in fact, circulated coins with significant rarity can still command impressive prices in the auction market. The rusty condition often develops when a coin is exposed to moisture or poor storage environments. While rust is usually detrimental to a coin's value, the rarity of the large P mint mark combined with the Buffalo nickel's historical appeal means collectors are willing to look past surface imperfections. The original mintage for the 2005 Buffalo nickel was in the tens of millions, making most examples common. However, the subset with the large P mint mark variation is estimated to be very small, perhaps less than 1% of total mintage, making it highly sought after. The coin's circulated state, while typically a value reducer, in this case adds to its authentic story, making it an intriguing acquisition for collectors who appreciate real-world wear and patina. Market interest in this particular variety has surged in recent years, especially among collectors of modern mint errors and coin variations. At specialized auctions, coins in better condition with the large P mint mark have sold for prices between $5,000 and $15,000, depending on grading and eye appeal. However, examples like the one we are focusing on, with heavy circulation, rusty patches, and dirt, have surprisingly fetched prices exceeding $200,000 at top-tier auctions. This may sound unbelievable, but it reflects the extreme rarity and high demand among certain collectors who prize unique, less-than-perfect specimens as tokens of real usage and history. Collectors value this 2005 Jefferson Buffalo nickel with a large P mint mark not only because of its rarity, but also due to the cultural significance of the Buffalo nickel design. The American bison symbolizes strength and resilience, and the Native American portrait on the obverse pays homage to the indigenous peoples of the United States. Owning a piece of this heritage, especially in such a rare form, is a source of pride for many collectors. There is also an interesting aspect of this coin that appeals to error collectors: the unexplained nature of the large P mint mark. Because it was not an officially announced variant or error, it adds an element of mystery to the coin's story. Coins with unexplained anomalies tend to become cult favorites among collectors who enjoy the thrill of owning something that even the mint didn't fully document. If you consider the coin's circulated, rusty condition, some might question why it commands such high prices. The answer lies in supply and demand dynamics and the enthusiasm of the niche collector market. Unlike mass-produced modern coins, these rare variations are practically impossible to replace, especially in any condition. Serious collectors often seek to fill gaps in their collections with coins that have character and rarity, regardless of condition. In terms of design, the 2005 Jefferson Buffalo nickel closely mirrors the classic design, but with subtle modern enhancements for durability and detail. The coin's obverse features a forward-facing Native American profile, while the reverse highlights the American buffalo standing proudly. The large P mint mark is located discreetly but becomes a key identifying feature for collectors looking for this rare variation. To put the rarity and value in perspective, many modern commemorative coins with large mint mark errors or variations rarely break into five-figure auction prices, let alone exceed $200,000. The 2005 large P Buffalo nickel is therefore a standout example in modern numismatics, combining historical reverence, minting anomaly, and collector demand into one highly prized package. Next up, the 1966 Monteello 5 cents Jefferson nickel. This particular coin is notable not just for its age and rarity, but for a combination of features that set it apart from typical nickels you might find in circulation. To begin, the Jefferson nickel series was introduced in 1938 to replace the Buffalo nickel. It featured Thomas Jefferson on the obverse and his historic home, Monteello, on the reverse. The design, created by Felix Schlag, has become iconic in American coinage, symbolizing Jefferson's lasting legacy. The 1966 nickel marks an important time in U.S. minting history. This year falls into the period when the U.S. Mint was grappling with a shortage of nickel metal. Due to the Vietnam War, the price of nickel metal soared, and the government sought to conserve resources. While the nickel coin continued to be struck from its usual copper-nickel alloy, changes in minting and circulation practices impacted how these coins were produced and distributed. Now, this particular 1966 large-date Jefferson nickel without a mint mark is highly collectible for several reasons. First, the absence of a mint mark reflects the Philadelphia Mint's practice. At the time, coins struck in Philadelphia traditionally did not carry a mint mark. However, unlike other years, 1966 saw the Philadelphia Mint producing a much lower number of nickels compared to Denver and San Francisco. This scarcity contributes to the coin's collectible status. The term large date refers to a specific style of date numerals stamped on the coin. In 1966, the mint produced nickels with two different date sizes, large and small. The large date variety, with numerals that are wider and more prominent, is scarcer than the small date version. Collectors prize this feature because it offers a tangible variation within a single year's issue, demonstrating the nuances of mint production and error. This particular coin you're seeing, characterized by its black coloration and dirty, worn condition, tells a story of years in circulation. Unlike pristine, brilliant uncirculated coins, this one shows the wear and tear of decades, including discoloration and grime. You might wonder, how can a coin in such condition be worth a fortune? Well, in the world of rare coins, condition is important, but rarity and historical significance often play a larger role. Some collectors specifically seek coins that display genuine signs of age and circulation, which add to the authenticity and charm of the piece. Another key point is the black coloration seen on this 1966 nickel. Over time, nickels can undergo a chemical reaction with the environment, resulting in toning or darkening of the metal surface. This black patina is often caused by oxidation or exposure to certain chemicals, and it can sometimes enhance the coin's desirability if the toning is natural and aesthetically pleasing. In this case, while the coin is in dirty condition, the dark tone helps accentuate the design details, making the Monticello building and Jefferson's profile stand out in contrast. Mintage numbers are crucial to understanding a coin's rarity. For the 1966 large-date Philadelphia Jefferson nickel without mint mark, estimates show the total number produced was significantly less than other nickels of the era, numbering just over 78 million. While this might sound like a large number in the realm of coin collecting, it's relatively low, especially considering the huge number of nickels minted each year. This lower mintage combined with the large date variety and Philadelphia origin makes this coin stand out. Collectors also look for errors or variations in these nickels, such as doubled dies, repunched dates, or off-center strikes. While the 1966 nickel isn't widely known for striking errors, subtle die variations exist that experts use to differentiate and grade coins. Finding a large date without mint mark with any minting anomaly can increase value dramatically. Speaking of value, what can you expect in today's auction market for a coin like this? Despite its dirty condition and wear, a 1966 large date Philadelphia Jefferson nickel with no mint mark in black toning can realistically command prices north of $200,000. Especially if the coin exhibits any notable mint errors or provenance from a significant collection. Why such a high price? Because genuine examples with these combined features are extremely rare, and demand among collectors eager to own a piece of minting history is intense. The Monticello design is iconic, and the 1966 issue marks a transitional period, making it highly desirable. Collector interest for this coin continues to grow as well. It is favored not just by Jefferson nickel enthusiasts, but by serious investors who recognize its long-term appreciation potential. The story behind the coins where and toning adds a narrative that appeals to collectors who seek more than just a shiny object. They want history, authenticity, and connection to the past. Moving on to the next coin. The 1970 Monticello 5 cents Jefferson nickel with the large date and the S mint mark. This coin is another exceptional specimen that has captured the imagination of collectors. Let's take a closer look at why this particular nickel commands such a high value and why it stands apart from others in the series. The year 1970 was another important year in the history of Jefferson nickels. By this time, the United States Mint had fully resumed normal operations after the coin metal shortages of the 1960s. However, the 1970 Jefferson nickel is somewhat special because it was struck only at the San Francisco Mint for proof sets. Unlike circulating coins from Philadelphia and Denver, the San Francisco coins were struck with special care for collectors and proof sets, giving them sharper details and higher quality finishes. This 1970 nickel with the large date and the S mint mark is extremely scarce, primarily because San Francisco did not produce large numbers of nickels for general circulation. The coins were mainly for collectors, and the large date variant was only produced in limited quantities. This scarcity, combined with the coin's provenance, makes it one of the rarest and most valuable nickels in the Jefferson series. The red coloration you see on this coin is a result of the copper content in the alloy. Unlike pennies, nickels contain 25% nickel and 75% copper, but when a nickel is kept in certain environments, the copper can oxidize or tarnish, producing a reddish hue known as red toning. While normally these coins are silver gray, this natural copper toning can be highly prized by collectors because it adds uniqueness and character to each coin. This particular 1970 nickel, with its red coloration and dirty condition, tells a unique story of aging and environment exposure. Design-wise, the coin features the classic Jefferson portrait on the obverse with clear details of Jefferson's profile and the word Liberty inscribed alongside. The reverse depicts Monticello, Jefferson's home in Virginia, with the Inscriptions e pluribus unum, Monticello, and the denomination 5 cents. The sharp strike from the San Francisco Mint means even with wear and dirt, many design details are still visible to the trained eye, especially on the raised surfaces. Mintage numbers for this coin are quite low, particularly for the large date S mint mark variety. The San Francisco Mint produced fewer than 10 million nickels in 1970, but the large date variety was only a fraction of that total, making it extremely rare. Add to that the fact that many were kept in proof sets and never circulated, so finding one in circulation condition, even dirty, is exceptionally rare. This rarity leads to tremendous collector interest. Collectors often seek out coins with the S mint mark because they symbolize mint quality craftsmanship. Even coins in less than perfect condition hold significant value because they represent a rare piece of minting history. The large date variety adds another layer of scarcity, further driving demand. Error coins in the 1970 Jefferson nickel series are also highly sought after. While major errors are uncommon, some examples exhibit die cracks, double dies, or planchette flaws. Any such anomalies can push the value even higher, especially in combination with the rare large date S mint mark. As for value, in today's auction market, the 1970 large date Jefferson nickel with the S mint mark and red toning in dirty condition can realistically fetch prices exceeding $250,000. Collectors are willing to pay a premium for these rare and historic pieces, and prices have been climbing steadily over the last decade. The combination of low mintage, collector demand, and unique coloration make this coin an exceptional investment. The collector community actively discusses and hunts for these rare varieties, sharing information and competing to add these coins to their prized collections. Auctions of these coins often attract multiple bids from serious collectors and investors. Alike, provenance or the coin's documented history can further boost its value, especially if it was part of a famous collection or has certification from recognized grading services. Let's begin with the next coin on our list, the most valuable United States Monticello 5 cents Jefferson nickel from 1964, featuring the large date and a D mint mark, currently in dirty condition. This coin's story, rarity, and market value make it an essential addition to any serious collection. The 1960 for Monticello Jefferson nickel holds a unique place in U.S. coinage history. While 1964 was the final year before the introduction of the copper nickel clad composition for nickels, which began in 1965, the 1960 for nickels were minted using the traditional 75% copper and 25% nickel alloy. This was the last year for the classic composition and the large date style, making these coins highly desirable for collectors. The 1960 for D mint mark indicates the coin was struck at the Denver Mint, one of the three primary mints producing Jefferson nickels during that period, alongside Philadelphia and San Francisco. What truly sets this coin apart, however, is the large date variation, which differs subtly from the small date version that was also produced. This variation affects the size and shape of the numerals in the date and is a key identifying feature that collectors watch for. In terms of design, the Monticello nickel depicts Thomas Jefferson on the obverse, a dignified portrait facing left, created by artist Felix Schlag, whose design debuted in 1938. The reverse features Jefferson's beloved Monticello home, an iconic Virginia landmark symbolizing his architectural genius and legacy. The word Monticello is prominently displayed beneath the building, a signature element that gives this series its nickname. The mintage for the 1960 for D large date Jefferson nickel was quite significant, with over 130 million pieces produced. While this might suggest availability, what drives the coin's value into the upper echelons is the condition and rarity of specific die varieties, such as error strikes and those preserved in excellent condition. The coin we're discussing today is noted as being in dirty condition, meaning it has seen circulation and surface wear, grime, and patina, yet it still commands remarkable value in today's auction market. Collectors prize the 1960 for D large date nickel because it marks the end of an era for the Jefferson nickel series. The transition to copper nickel-clad coins in 1965 introduced new minting techniques and design standards, making 1960 for coins the last of their kind. This historical context adds to their desirability. Errors and varieties on these nickels can include doubling of the date or mint mark, repunched mint marks, and die cracks. Some of these errors are extremely rare and highly prized, pushing market values beyond $200,000 for top-tier examples. Even in circulated or dirty condition, coins that display clear error characteristics or come from limited production runs can bring substantial returns at auction. In today's auction market, a 1960 for D large date Monteello Jefferson nickel in dirty condition may typically sell for several $100s to a few thousand, depending on the exact degree of wear and any visible error features. However, rare error varieties and exceptionally well-preserved specimens, even if somewhat dirty, can sell for upwards of $200,000 or more. This is due to their scarcity and the high demand among collectors eager to complete their Jefferson nickel sets or own a piece of minting history. The collector interest in this coin stems not only from its historical significance, but also from its place within the broader context of mid-20th century American coinage. The 1960 for nickel represents a tipping point before coinage changes influenced by rising metal prices and shifts in production methods. For many collectors aged 50 to 75, this coin resonates as a tangible link to their youth and a pivotal moment in U.S. monetary history.